engines to worry about.
I do, but when the opportunity comes
Some of them don't have engines,
really
but-
rare and cool.
Can you put this engine in the other cars? Make it work.
Actually, you know what car would fit? Do you know what car would fit?
My midget.
Yes.
Take it.
Is your engine a 948?
No, aren't you selling that?
So
I thought it was
back of my truck.
bigger.
No. They can be bigger, but it's not. It's not 1200.
That's what I have at the back of my truck. It's a 948.
How much you want it for? Does it have?
Aren't you
Does it
getting
have
rid of
carbs?
that car?
Yeah, it does have a carb on it.
Does it already work?
Supposedly it does, but I could not promise you that.
It
Remember
looks shiny
that?
new.
I would like to tell you how much that thing weighs. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's a lot.
Okay.
It's like
Iron?
$10.
somewhere north of 500 pounds.
Remember that wild storage fee you were talking about that you don't want to pay anymore?
Yeah, right. That's stupid fucking $200 a month. Yeah. How much you want for it? If you could put it in my car, run.
I don't know if it runs. That's the problem.
Oh, man.
I don't know if it runs. I was like, I asked him what he wanted for it at first, and he's like, I don't know, $400. And I was like,
Does it run?
does it run? He's like, yeah, it's freshly rebuilt. I was like, okay.
Does it run?
Is there paperwork? He's like, no. I was like, can I take it apart? No. He's like, all right, they're not paying $400
For a
an
gas.
engine that may or may not be properly rebuilt. Who really knows what happened to this thing? So I was like, I'll give you $100. And he's like, oh, how about $350? And I was like, I don't need it for $350. Like, I don't need it. For $100, I'll take it. Oh, all right, I'll think about it. You recording right now?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
I thought
Sneak
that much
attack.
was obvious.
No, because my mic's not on my head. My mic's not on. My headphones aren't on. Now I know we're recording.
It's a
Whatever.
good thing when your mic is on your head.
Yeah.
Headphone. Who invited this one?
I know. We went from.
Commentaries in the corner.
We're like, oh, we have 4 mics. Now we have 5.
Right.
Threw it in there.
Magic.
Which is
Yeah.
magic because we have 5 people here tonight.
Yep. So it's episode 98 of Auto Off
Right.
Topic.
Starting off with Brad buying another car,
Yep.
but
Engine.
not just the engine because. Ugh, whatever.
I'll take it off your hands.
There's a long story to it, so maybe we'll
Put it in the mini.
We'll do it next week.
$50.
well, next episode.
75.
So,
So chill.
uh,
to the next episode.
so maybe you can guess who's back. We've got Liz and Jordan and Stephanie, but and this time they have a rally team name because
do,
it
actually.
was way back in episode 68, about 30 episodes ago.
Is that when they were last year?
No, there was one in between, but
What was that about?
68
Sprint?
it was about a rally sprint.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
68 was the one when you went. It was New Year's Day, and you just come back from buying the golf,
right.
and you're like, we're gonna run it at New England Forest Rally, and we're like, okay,
Okay.
that's 6 months from now,
Yeah.
and so here
You
we
have
are,
plenty of time.
Yeah.
You won't be scrambling at all the night before the rally.
and here we are. You finished it,
We did.
so
Spoiler alert.
yeah.
Oh, they
Well,
finished the car or they finished the rally? They finished the car.
they finished.
Who
the
Both.
rally.
who knows about the rally?
It's pretty
You'll
obvious. A
find
lot of
out.
people
Question
know.
mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah, but there was a lot that went on to get to that point.
Yes.
I'll say.
So I
Things
guess
were
we'll-
built, things were changed, money was spent.
I guess we'll just get into it. So I don't know where should we start. Friday.
Well, if they were
Day
last
one.
here after the rally sprint, what has changed in the car between then and now? That's probably where we should start. Because they ran the rally sprint, and the
winter
condition.
one or
There was
the-
2 rally sprints. We
The-
didn't talk about the. Well, we sort of talked about the second one, but they
But
weren't here.
regardless,
Yeah.
they had to change a few things in order to run the New England Forest Rally. What did you have to change on said? This is Spaghetti, the rally car, if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about here. Which I don't know if you guys are officially calling it Spaghetti
We
anymore.
call it spaghetti.
But we still are. Okay, good.
I think the biggest thing we changed was, and the biggest headache was getting the cage updated, which we didn't have to do. We just wanted to do, and that took the most amount of time.
I thought you had to do it to
Nope.
enter an
Nope.
EFR.
Nope. I just wanted it to be safer.
Okay, that's a valid concern.
So that took us 3 months.
We dropped it off in March,
We dropped it off in March.
and we got it.
4 weeks ago.
Yeah, roughly. So yeah.
Yeah,
Just before the
it
rally
took a
sprint.
while.
It
But he had to cut out a lot of the old cage.
Yeah.
Was there anything that he could reuse?
he reused the whole cage.
except for like the door bars.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So he just
So the,
Angled it?
Reposition things.
well, yeah.
No.
Well, the big issue was our top of the cage wasn't welded, which by these new rules they have to be welded. So he had to cut them all out to weld the top to put it back in.
Top of the cage, meaning like below the roof on
Yeah.
the top of the tubing. We
And he didn't wanna cut the
get a
roof.
welder without cutting a roof off.
Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't get the he didn't cut the roof off. So.
No, he cut them and pulled them out, welded them, and put them back in.
Oh,
Okay.
and then he could weld because he could get to the bottom part of the bars.
Exactly.
Oh.
So that did take a while, and then there's just a couple other like vacations he was at. So it just took us a while. We didn't have the car.
Plus, he was building his own car too. I
Yep.
think, wasn't he, at the
Yep.
same
Yep.
time? So
And when we dropped it off, it didn't run, so that was nerve-wracking
right.
because it died. Like,
All right,
that
here's my
day.
dead car. Can you spend a couple of grand putting a new cage in it, please? Thanks.
Yeah. We had to push it into your garage.
Yeah.
All right.
And
That
then
was
you
horrible.
push it off the trailer.
Yep.
Like off the trailer.
Oh yeah, then it fell off.
Oh.
the
So
trailer.
it was more dropping it off the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because in the meantime you bought a used trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is for
Homemade.
sale
It will be shortly. Yes.
very shortly. It's successfully rally used at 2 rally sprints and an actual stage rally.
And
So
then
it
back
can-
and forth.
It can haul a rally car. So if you want to buy a trailer,
Let us know.
look up Iron Oxide Racing.
And then what? So all right, you got the cage back, and then you had to get running.
Yep.
So you went and visited.
Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, our Volkswagen Jesus friend down in Rhode Island, who somehow knows how all that mechanical injection spaghetti works.
Fuel injection.
Because he's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although you notice his own personal car does not have fuel injection.
All the guys that know these Volkswagen rally cars and helped us, they all just tell us to get rid of that motor.
Which
Like, step one.
And do a later model ABA.
Yeah.
and then in the garage we have pulled a ABA to eventually put in.
Yep.
So the ABA, instead of having the weird, what is it, Cage-atronic or L-Getronic, whatever it is.
CIS.
CIS. Has standard injectors.
Yep.
Like individual
Like
injectors.
a modern fuel
Like a real
injection
car.
system.
Like a real
Right.
car. Yeah. Like a real engine, a real boy.
We're talking old cars here, so you guys are already one step above carburetors, so it's not too far.
Not that
ahead of
big of a
ourselves.
step, though.
Barely.
It's like,
Well,
it's like an electronic carburetor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So we brought it down to Rhode Island, and he pulled it all apart, checked it, like diagnosed what was going on, and it was actually nothing to do with the CIS system. We had a dead fuel pump, or a lifter pump, because there's a pump in the tank and then the fuel pump, and it was the pump in the tank that had died.
Do they call it a lifter pump because it lifts fuel out of the tank into the other pump?
It does.
That is an annoying
It's really
setup.
annoying
Should just be one pump in the tank.
because when you try to find them online, they don't differentiate. Usually, it's just fuel pumps.
So a lot of modern cars have that now too because they have the.
If you have a saddle tank, you've got a lift pump on one side.
Well, a lot of the cars now have direct injection, so they have a super high pressure pump, right, like in the engine bay, and then like a normal pump to pump the fuel to the super high pressure pump. So similar kind of
And
setup.
returnless injection,
Yeah.
which is neat.
Okay.
So it's on-demand fuel pump.
Yeah,
Doesn't just run at full power.
which is probably good for the longevity of the fuel pump.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So
So that was really it. So that's why it wasn't running. Put a new pump in, and then we had
Probably just from sitting, and then it just kind of.
yeah, well, the cars have for years before you guys took it back out, right?
Yeah, they didn't touch it for 2 years,
Oh, it's
and
not a
that's
lot of years.
before the people we bought it from, and then I don't know prior to who they bought it from.
Yeah, we talked about this before. The last event was 2005 or something.
2003,
2003.
It was a long time ago.
15 years.
Which was noted, I guess, when our crew brought the car in for tech and they looked at the logbook,
Yeah,
No, like
and the lady was like, 2003?
what?
because the cage was brand new. They're like,
Yeah.
the cage looks really new. And you're like, yes, it is
we
brand new.
did it. Yeah, we fixed it.
So super. And so that's its first event. Was any of our first major event other
Yep.
than the 2 rally sprints.
And now the logbook has a US sticker? Is that how that goes?
No, it's still like the same weird Canadian one.
Cars.
It's covered in maple syrup.
Pretty much.
It's covered in brake fluid, I
Oh.
think.
Poutine.
But,
Oh, okay. How many more stereotypes can we get out of there?
Beavers.
Beavers.
tails.
Crown Royal.
Oh man.
Okay.
I
Anyway,
didn't even
moving
really.
on.
Oh, I didn't even make that connection. The car's Canadian.
Oh man, it's even better now.
Did it come with any clearly Canadian?
No.
Darn.
I found a
They make
Chuck
that
E.
anymore?
Cheese
No.
token inside of it, though.
Yeah.
That's a Chuck E. Cheese car.
Yeah, it
Pretty
is.
much.
That's awesome.
So we did. Yeah. So this is the first event they've written in our logbook for because the sprints don't.
Yeah, sprints don't count in the
Count.
logbook.
Yep.
So this was the first one.
How many events were in the logbook before? Like, so
3.
the car's only run in 4 events.
Yeah. I guess
Wow.
it was a course opening for a good portion of its life,
Okay.
Yep.
but obviously those don't go in the logbook, so we
Mm-hmm.
don't know how many it course opened for.
That's interesting.
But if you actually look at the car, you can see where they ripped off the 00.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
that's
the
right.
paint,
It came with
yeah.
00 doors, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did.
Yep.
Yep.
The old hatch, I think.
Is that why you
double
guys
zeros
ran
on?
number 900? Because all you do is add the 9.
Just make it look nice.
What? What? How many kilometers are on that thing?
The
It stopped.
odometer does not work.
It
Okay.
stopped
No, it's an old
Well, I
German
mean, it's
car.
an
and
old
the
German.
odometer doesn't
Yeah,
work?
exactly.
I think
Plastic,
it's at like 1.5.
plastic odometer
It's
used.
at 1 something, but then the next two numbers are halfway, and
They don't move.
I've never
Also,
looked at it.
the car has been taken apart and put together so many times that there's
It
really
doesn't really
no
matter.
way of proving what odometer is in the car now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we have like 2 or 3 gauge clusters in
in
the
our
basement.
yeah.
Right. So what? So if we add them all together, what's the average mileage on all of them?
A million.
Yeah,
billion.
probably a
Well,
million.
average, not all together.
A million billion.
All right. So the car has 1,000,000 miles on it.
Pretty
It
much.
feels like it has
Have
a
you
million
seen it?
miles on
Yeah.
it.
Yes, I've gotten very close.
Sounds
with the
like it
car.
has a million miles on it.
But importantly, the last 300 or so finished a rally. So
It did.
Yep.
that's good.
So I guess it all started, last Wednesday? So
Yeah.
a week ago.
Yeah, Wednesday we loaded it up on the trailer and drove it up north. We had we rented a house for our crew and everything. And then we had to go do recce on Thursday, which we'd never done before.
Nope.
While our crew got the car teched, which was kind of nerve-wracking because I didn't think it was going to pass tech for any myriad of reasons.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought something was going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
No, it didn't.
There were some issues, but they were minor.
No, I mean it didn't pass tech at first.
It
Correct.
didn't. Well,
Right.
because they forgot to turn the running lights on.
So
Two
Two
No.
separate switches.
yes.
Yeah.
So at some point the car's headlight switch was made not really redundant.
Yeah.
So you can't turn the headlights on. Or you can turn the headlights on with the headlight switch, but it doesn't turn on the marker lights.
Right.
So
they fail for not having marker lights, and then you tell them, oh, they're on a separate switch.
So you just drove it back and did it again. So that was that's
Yep.
minor. But we weren't we had to go do recce, which you're out running all the roads with no service, and you're just hoping you get a good text or get service to hear what's going on.
Okay.
And it took us 11 hours to do recce.
So you don't do recce in the rally car?
No,
No.
we did it in
You're
the
actually not allowed to.
yeah.
Okay.
We did it in the Xterra. And we have a little tracking system where you're not allowed to go over 35 miles an hour on any of the roads.
During recce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you get
That's why it takes so long.
You get a monetary penalty.
Yep. Oh yeah, they find
Wow.
you money. It's not time, it's money.
That's not good.
Nope.
'Cause that's the. You have time to give, but no money.
You're
Yeah.
right.
So I ran recce with some media guys, and
Do they track you guys?
Nope.
No, it's only
That's why they passed you 4 times.
Yeah, that's why it only took us 8 hours.
not 11.
Yeah.
You ran the whole course on recce?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was fun.
I mean, you don't do it in the same order. They give you an order to do it in.
Probably an order that makes more sense.
Yeah.
it is. You start the furthest away,
Location-wise,
and then you
yeah.
work your way back.
Right.
Okay. So it's backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kinda
Sort of, kind of.
because you run.
Well, you're running the event. You're running the course the correct direction, but
Yes.
you're running the stages backwards.
And then you have to be
as
careful
in-
because all the logging trucks are out on Thursday.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Oh, there's still logging trucks out there
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
don't shut it
active
down
roads.
ahead of time.
No, not on Thursday. They don't. No.
So you're both looking down at your map books, and you just get run over by a Kenworth.
It's
Pretty much.
possible.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's
You know how they run those roads.
I do. I've been on many logging roads, but they're in their active time, and if you
Yeah,
guys
like-
are doing 35, they're doing 105.
It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
freight train.
It is
Oh, yeah.
pretty much.
Yep.
It's bad. They go fast.
The giant moose bars on there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
which would annihilate even your Xterra, which I'm sure is what you were in.
Yep.
Yeah. No good. No good. So how many miles total is the rally?
It's it was 107 stage miles, and I want to say
300 and
200
I thought it was 300.
for. I think it was 300 total.
So it took you 11 hours to go 170 miles.
No,
it's more
no,
than
more than that.
because it's stage miles plus.
Plus trans.
Transit.
There wasn't the
So
full
300
transits
miles.
because you're doing some shortcutting, but
Yeah.
it was a lot. I can't remember. I reset the trip, but I forgot what it came out to.
That's crazy. I did not know that they tracked you during recce.
Yeah.
Yeah, no speeding.
I think just on Saturday I did 150, but I didn't hit all the stages.
Miles, not per hour.
Yeah, just miles.
Yeah.
Just ripping.
No, I did not do 150 in the Montero.
Just
Yeah,
sitting
you're lucky to
there
do 100.
Physically impossible.
The wheels just came right off.
Yeah, exactly.
in the woods. Oh man. So we did that, and then we get back. We found our car passed tech, so that was a super big relief. And then, what did we do? I don't even. Oh, Jordan started looking at we took everyone out for beer. We got beers.
Always a plus.
Yes.
Always a good plus. and Jordan's. Oh, we had to go to the school, the novice school.
Because it's your
Right.
first year running.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have done less than 4 events, you have to go to the novice school.
Was it worthwhile?
It was good. Like, they definitely explained a couple things, but the only bummer thing was they held it at 8:30 to 9:30.
Woof.
When you're already, like, done and you had to race the next morning.
Mhm.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
I was, like, sitting there, like...
And early, like you gotta get up at like at least 5 probably for.
Well, we were up super duper early. So we did the novice school, went back. Essentially, Jordan did his co-driver book, and then woke up on Friday.
And Friday is race day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the first stage doesn't go off till noontime.
Yeah.
11:01 is the first car left.
Yeah, we didn't start until like
11:54.
yeah.
But you have to get down there.
Well, that's from Park Expose.
Right.
Yeah, what time was Park Expose when you guys were signing your autographs and
Uh,
waving to your adoring
9:30?
fans?
I think it opened at 9:30.
9:30.
Okay.
Yep. That went off without a hitch. We got there.
Because the car was parked the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you just wait till Saturday morning. Foreshadowing. We got to Park Expose, no issue. We did, like, that old thing. They gave us our start order. We were 54 out of 55 cars. So we went very, very last.
Who was the last car to go?
It was a newer BMW.
It was like E90 335
It
XI
seems like a horrible choice.
on
Yes.
17-inch all-season tires.
Oh, good.
No,
Yeah.
well, at some point they switched to Conti
They did, yeah.
Extreme Contacts.
Not
what's on my
rally
Mini
tires.
Cooper?
Yeah, they're all seasons.
Oh yeah, they are. I
Same
think
t-
they-
yeah, it's the
There was
same
on my
tires
co-
Liz
was on
has
my
on her
Mini.
Mini
Yeah,
Cooper.
yeah.
It's a horrible idea.
So the car was
This whole
sponsored
thing is a
by.
horrible idea.
It was sponsored by 1552, so it had 1552 tarmacs on it
Okay.
and a full 1552 livery on it.
Yep.
And it supposedly was a drift car or something.
And it
Oh,
also
so they just repurposed it for the weekend?
It also had a very weird and not correct cage.
Yeah, their cage
It
wasn't.
had a drift cage?
I don't
which is
know
like a
how
couple
they
of
passed it, but like it
It was
didn't-
missing an
a bunch of
FIA
drunk
bar.
Yeah, it
17-year-olds in PVC pipe?
didn't have like FIA bars, and I think the main hoop was just like a V, not an X. It was really weird.
But they let it run.
Yeah,
Why?
because they drove from Florida.
Okay. So, in the car? Or the trailer?
On a trailer.
Well, we honestly don't know the full story.
Right.
This was all secondhand. We didn't hear anything from the tech
Yeah.
people themselves.
That's interesting. I'm amazed they
Maybe
ran.
they figured they weren't going to go fast enough.
I'm amazed they ran that whole event on those tires without having, like, sidewall punctures and...
We saw them changing tires
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
a couple
Okay.
times.
But anyways, they were behind us because they'd never rallied before.
I can tell.
So they were seated behind us, and then we were 54 to 55. So essentially, that meant you wait around for another hour when you're all ready to go, and then
Yep.
you wait another.
First
hour.
car goes, you're like, yeah, it's just everything's starting. And you're like, kind of.
Yeah, basically the first two stages because they run them back to back.
Yep.
You guys were waiting to go, and number one, the top 3 cars are already sitting behind you.
Yep.
like
Yeah,
for,
they'd already
like,
they'd already
minutes.
finished and transited back essentially.
Staged up, ready to go.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. They probably know it at you at that point because they're like, oh, man, all these amateurs.
Look at this. But the cool thing is, like, when we were getting ready to head down to Park Expose, we're all standing around, and then I turn around, and my dad had driven up from Foxborough without telling me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he came up to see the car, because I think I told you when I first got the car, me and him used to do Gran Turismo, and we would rally all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he came up as, like, a surprise just to see the car, and then come to find out he could actually get on one of the buses to go see the stage. So we put him on a bus to go see Concord Pond, which is
Awesome.
the very first stage.
Yep.
So that was cool. So he was on his way. We get through Park Expose, and then we transit to Concord Pond, which was 45 minutes.
Roughly,
Yeah,
at
about
which
that.
point I assumed that the car was going to break down on the way there because, it's got a history.
We had
Right.
never driven it this much.
No.
Yeah.
I was literally on edge for those 45 minutes. I think I was so nervous the car was something was going to happen.
Yeah, I volunteered to drive it to and from work for a week for the event for you
I know.
guys.
Shakedown.
Yeah. And I was just so nervous. I think that 45 minutes was probably the worst anxiety I felt the whole time I rallied.
Just silent
Yeah,
in the car
I can see
on
it
the way
because-
there.
The furthest the
Don't
car's
say
gone
anything.
is like to the inspection station
Yeah.
where it failed,
Oh, we went and
or
got
to the gas
coffee.
station
Oh, yeah, we
where it
drove-
failed somehow.
Drove to
Or
the coffee shop and then back home.
And then the
did
e-brake
you go to the
stuff.
drive-through of the coffee shop?
No.
Oh, you should have.
There was
That
no
would cause
drive-through. Oh, wait, no, we drove it to the alignment shop, too, and then we drove it home, and it died in an intersection.
Yeah. So
Yes.
We've had
2
no
miles.
luck.
Yeah. And then you tried to drive it from a trailer to a garage,
It died.
and it
And
died. Yeah.
Yeah.
We rally
So-
crossed it for half a day. It died.
And then you're on gravel tires.
But let's put it this way,
for 45 minutes.
Which are very loud on asphalt.
Didn't realize that.
especially
Woof.
with no interior too.
Oh god.
So let's put it this way, though. The car has now run 3 major events. It's been 2 rally sprints
Yep.
and 1 full stage rally. And all of the time it's died was not those times.
No.
So that's all that matters in the end.
Yeah, it somehow knows when to work.
It can die every day if it has to, as long as it runs on those events. It's
To
fine.
be continued, because you haven't talked about Saturday yet.
Yeah, that's
But hey, but it doesn't matter. The car finished the event.
foreshadowing.
Regardless, if a part had to be replaced, that was easily enough replaced that it was replaced. Easily enough that it was replaced. I didn't say it was easy. Those who are listening can't see Liz's face she just gave me when I said that. Easily enough replaced that you continue the event. I consider that a success.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just rally. I mean, you could build a brand spanking new Subaru,
And something can go.
and something can go wrong while rallying. Some of the best prepared teams out there have problems mechanically, so
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it. You're driving a car that's not
You roll it,
intended.
it catches fire.
That is one particular team, yes.
Yes.
You're not driving a car that was intended to be driven on uneven dirt pavement, lack of pavement,
Yeah.
with boulders in it. So shit can go wrong fast no matter what
Yeah.
you're driving.
we got to Concord Pond, and that was like
Victory number 1.
Yeah,
Ready
we-
for the podium.
super excited.
Yeah.
We get there, and like we obviously like line up, and Jordan starts doing his whole like co-driver thing, figuring out the times and getting us in line, and then I just remember being like super duper excited when we started Concord Pond, because I was like, oh cool, we're actually doing this, like we're racing the stage.
Yeah, it's pretty
one.
awesome. I can't even imagine. I remember the first time I went autocrossing, and I was like, I'm racing a car. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine taking it to the next level.
Because like the rally sprints are cool, but I knew this was like a different level, and that was like super duper exciting.
Yeah, the spectators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Partially, I guess, too much excitement. So stage 1, we start, and like Jordan was like the whole like recce, and essentially for the whole rally was on it with the notes, like did like really well calling all the notes. So we were doing a lot better in that sense, because a couple of the rally sprints hadn't gone well with note calling. And
There's a lot more to lose here.
Was there
too.
name
The speeds
calling?
are higher, and
I don't think so.
and we start Concord Pond, and like it was really fun. It was like kind of like just like an open road with some like gravel. I don't know. It was really fun. Car was fast. I was going really fast for myself.
Mhm.
Like I was going like 100 kilometers an hour.
Really feeling it.
100
Yeah.
kilometers an hour. We're not going to do the conversions, so nobody
think it's
can
like
figure out.
60.
Nope.
Nope. 60.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
fast
60.
for that road.
I don't know. We're gonna get into minutes.
Listen,
if you
we're
start
talking
trying to do.
100 kilometers an hour. They're doing
That's it.
100.
This is not a math
Right,
podcast.
100.
Leave
We've
off
proven
the
that time
units.
and time again.
Leave
100.
your math at the
We're
door.
doing 100. Your units insert here.
And
Whoa, sorry.
Okay.
Anyway.
oh man,
yes.
Jordan, do you want to tell this part of the story?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So there's like a big jump on Concord Pond, and like
Several.
Yeah.
no, but like the big one,
The
The
which they
spectator
had
jump.
marked as a crest, not a jump in the notes.
Yeah.
right?
really
Which
weird.
threw me off when we hit it. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, was that it?
That was it.
Yeah.
But then you come down from that, and then there's like a couple of little turns, and then there's like a left 4 that tightens to a 3 over a bridge,
Culvert.
culvert. Bridge. It says bridge.
Yeah,
in
no
the
bridges.
notes.
Yeah.
In this
But,
stage, as I was told earlier.
We
That
we
wasn't.
came into that entirely too hot, and washed out wide. And at which point I looked out my side window and saw a telephone pole coming directly at me. So I was yelling at her to just like
The telephone pole?
plant the throttle.
No,
And
he
I
said
was,
stay in it.
and I was like, oh God, please don't hit, please don't hit, please don't hit. And then just bang! And the back end of the car tagged the telephone pole.
Hard.
But we didn't like spin.
No.
We just kept going straight. So we
Yeah.
just kept going.
Yeah.
You probably were like almost ready to spin the other direction,
No.
and the pole straightened you back out, right?
No.
No.
No?
No,
So
we were
I
just
just
understeering.
slept
So it was just a
Right.
glancing blow then, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So
Alright.
we were like coming on the bridge, and we were, like I said, I was feeling like we hit the jump, and like like my left tire came off, and I could tell, and I was like, it was feeling real good. And we came into that thing, and I could see it tightening. He called the notes fine, and then I was like, whoa, this is really too fast.
Well, you knew you were supposed to be tightening, but the car didn't want
The car didn't
want
tighten.
anything to do with it because you're going too hot.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, it's like one of those DUI people that just hit something and just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what the car
And
looked
so
like.
we were just gonna slide right off the culvert, like into a little stream, or he was like yelling at me to stay in it, which I wound up giving it gas, which pulled us into the pole.
Mhm.
So halfway through the first stage, I hit a telephone pole,
It's a good omen.
for the
good
start
start.
of my first rally. So I throw it into second because I think we were in fourth gear, honestly, coming into that. Which we were, like I said, we were fast, too fast.
That's like 90
So I throw it into
undescribed measurements.
into second, and I like give it gas, and I don't hear like the back wheel rubbing or like in the sense because I didn't know where I hit. I didn't know if I hit that back tire, which I was like super hoping I didn't.
Yeah,
So
it would
that-
have been annoying to bend the rear beam on the first
immediately.
stage.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anything, so I was like, all right, cool, fine, just go with it, whatever. We'll look at it later. We're going, and like you don't really like look out your back window off, like your back rear view mirror.
Right, because there's no other traffic.
No, so
Yeah.
you're not really looking. So I look up, and I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, and the trunk. So it's like a hatchback.
The hatch, yeah.
The hatch is hanging off to the side, like it's held on by one hinge, and I can see it like moving as I'm still racing. And I'm like, Jordan, the hatch is off. And he's like, okay. And like I figured he'd kind of look too.
Well, he can't probably.
No, I can't.
I guess he can't.
He doesn't
I
have a
didn't think
mirror,
of-
and you can't turn your head.
Right.
I didn't
in the
think about
harness.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like out of the corner of my eye the whole time we finished this whole stage. We never stopped.
Don't
I
fall
can-
off. Don't fall off. Don't
I was
fall
like,
off.
please don't kill spectators. Please don't kill spectators. Please don't kill spectators. And like have it fly off.
So we got to weld chains to it next time, so it has like a retention
Tether.
system. Tether, yeah.
Oh man, so that was a bummer because I could see it. And I think I apologized like minimum 300 times to Jordan. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
And why apologize? It's rally. You wrecked. You kept going. Nothing bad happened.
No spectators were killed,
No spectators or drivers
or co-drivers,
or co-drivers or golfs.
or golfs.
Everything made it through.
Yeah. So we finished, and we pulled over so like we could inspect what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and the pole had just missed the tire and just crushed the back corner.
Mm-hmm.
So like the taillight was completely gone. The hatch was hanging off.
And the bumper was
The
missing.
bumper was like
bumper.
bent back at a 90-degree angle, like parallel with the rest of
So
the
we
car.
broke one of the bumper like screws. So essentially, there's one still holding it on.
Just flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
Bumper cover was gone.
Yeah, the cover itself was gone.
Yeah.
Beam was
Gone
there.
forever.
So we just ratcheted it all together with a strap.
Hey,
Because
whatever works.
I had this premonition, like a couple weeks ago. I was like, I should probably put a ratchet strap in the toolbox just in case.
Right.
Like the hood flies open.
Right, which is what I would think it for as well.
Right.
With exhaust brakes, I can strap up to the car.
Yeah.
Or, something,
Or if Liz hits a telephone pole.
Or if Liz hits a telephone pole.
3 miles into her first stage.
Yeah. Like, why are there telephone poles up there?
Because it's a road.
There's power out there. Concord Pond is a
Like it's a
it's a
neighborhood.
residential street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we say Concord Pond, and everybody who's not around here is like Concord Pond.
Concord.
Okay, it's Concord Pond.
Oh man.
So meanwhile, I was at the crest shooting everybody going over the jump, which the fast cars are like crazy, like fly through the air for feet.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah, like 100 feet.
So anyway, then after that, I planned to go down to that corner because it looked pretty cool. So I go down there, and I get down there, and this other photographer's there, and he's like, "Dude, you just missed it. This car hit the pole." I was like, "What car hit the pole?" He's like, "A red Golf." I was like, "No." I was like, "Ah." So I had no idea how bad it was. I was like, "Well, they're not here, so they drove it to somewhere."
Yeah.
And then there was these people across the way, and a tall guy in a white shirt that was kind of balding, and they were like talking back and forth to me. I was like, yeah, it was Iron Oxide Racing. They're like my team, and he's like, yeah, Iron Oxide Racing. I was like, yeah, you're right. They were like, yeah.
I think
I didn't know it was your dad. Turns out,
my dad.
Oh, wait, your dad was with the
Yeah.
accident happened?
So.
yeah.
Oh my
wait,
God.
Wait, it gets better.
He didn't pull you out of the car to the first finish and drag you home?
So we finish. He ratchet straps it on. We do Conquer Pond again.
Yeah.
At this point, like I just don't even care what the car
She's
does.
driving
He has
like
that
she's
entire
driving like a
corner.
Nana.
Yeah, the entire corner is all for Liz right there.
Yeah.
Well, did you know them all, or did your dad make you know them all?
So
Like your dad was like, my kid's doing this, you're all going to vote for her.
Yep.
All right, cool.
So he was next to a girl, I guess, and they got like everybody cheering for me. So of course, come to find out, so the spectator bus drops you off, and you can choose where you go. You can go to the jump. And my dad just kind of like he's never done one of these,
Right.
so he just followed this crowd of people, and they went, of course, to this. They can go anywhere on the stage. He
And they
goes to
went
that corner.
To where you crashed.
So I didn't know this, and that's what he saw. My very first stage, first time he's ever seen me, I go by, and then I hit a telephone pole.
Immediately out of passing him.
Yep.
You're like, hi, Dad, crash.
Yep.
It's
So
awesome. That's like poetic, though.
And he got
At
like
this point.
everybody like rallied up. Well, like
Everybody rallied up.
yeah, got everyone fired
Everybody's
up for
psyched
me.
up, yeah.
And then of course I hit the pole, and in the video you hear like the whole crowd go, "Oh!"
So you may have been the first crash of the event for anybody.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Oh, we
was.
were.
I mean,
We
at
were
that
sure.
point, yeah, that's pretty good.
Absolutely.
That's pretty.
I wish I had stickers. I would have thrown an iron oxide sticker on the pole.
Oh man.
First place for something.
Yeah.
We left some paint on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Oh,
marked.
yeah.
It's well marked. We'll know
Yeah.
where it is next year. when we go
There's a
back.
picture of it on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
That was
Oh.
funny on the second running down it. We putt through it like 25 miles
Oh, yeah,
an
I,
hour.
like-
And she has like both hands off the wheel, flipping off the telephone pole.
Yeah.
Yelling at it.
Meanwhile, everybody standing there is tried cheering you on. Oh, the last time.
It was so loud. Everybody was cheering me on when I came over because they knew it was me.
Yeah.
My dad told me later on, which I thought was kind of funny, that he got like, because everybody like essentially what happened is these people cut the corner and they kick rocks into the road, like the big like rocks from the culvert.
Right.
And there was a bunch in the road. So before I went the second time, my dad and a bunch of spectators went out and cleared all the big rocks out of the road
Aw,
because my dad didn't want my car to hit them.
so cute.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So him and a bunch of spectators went out and like he kicked rocks out of the road, and then he also picked up all my broken pieces
That's
of my
amazing.
car.
Oh, okay.
That's how you got them all back then.
Thanks,
Yep.
Dad.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
As most spectators take them home and hang them on the garage wall or something.
Yeah. He-
Somebody else.
Much like somebody else in this room has done to car
Hey,
parts.
they
for
threw it
rally.
away.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
they threw that in the woods as trash.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to throw my bumper anywhere.
No, but you did a good job of it.
I didn't realize that it was there. I would have grabbed it. I forgot the car had a plastic rear bumper.
And I'm sure the taillight was in like 1,000 pieces.
Yeah,
anyway,
he brought
so-
all 1,000 pieces.
Awesome. We
It
should
was-
glue it back together and make like a nightlight out of it.
It was kind of funny. So he was super excited to see that, and then pretty much after that happened, like I told you, I was super nervous for the first 45 minutes of transit. I had no cares left in that world about the car and driving. I was like, well, we've made it this far.
We broke it in.
Yeah.
We've made a story. We're doing well. So,
My first scratch.
yeah.
We're done.
/ dent. / broken parts.
And then we went to Icicle Brook? No.
No,
South
we
Arm.
did South Arm,
South
Same
Arm.
road.
which was pretty good. It was a fast stage. I thought it was fun.
That one was really fun.
So that was the one where I was waiting for you guys, so I got
yeah.
stuck on Concord Pond. So
Oh yeah, you were at the start.
because it's like a 45 to 60 minute transit to
Yep.
get from there to the start. So I was
Yeah.
like, all right, we'll hang out at the start, and I'll wait for you guys to come through. And then
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was
what
good.
the
We
hell
pull
did
up-
you do to this car?
Yeah, we pulled up and I saw Andrew there, and I was handing my time card to the worker, and I told him to go look at the back of the car, and he walks around back, and then he comes back around the front and just kind of leans his head down and looks at us and shakes his head disapprovingly.
Awesome.
No, you're fine. Yeah, and I was just like, oh man. I pulled up and I did the, what did you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, we're going to have to fix this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Oh, man. And then we did that one. That was a fun stage.
Yeah, that was pretty
There's a-
quick too.
Yeah, that was a fun, quick
And then at the
stage.
end of that, when you're supposed to just turn around and stack up, and then you do the same stage with a big loop on it that adds like 8
4
miles
miles?
or something.
Yeah, Icicle Brook. They go
but
in and out.
we ended up just being parked there for like 2 or 3 hours because we didn't get to run the stage because that's when Mr. Block had his incident.
Yeah, so funny thing. So I normally get there early enough, or typically make it there early enough to get to that first VIP spectator area, which is about a mile from the start. And you go in there and you can park there, and there's a pretty good corner. It's like a hard 90. And but since we got there late, me and this other guy, Steve, was shooting media with me. We just walked in, and it kind of worked out because since we walked in, the first like 3 cars went by, and then Block comes by, tags a rock on the apex, and completely rolled the car over, like multiple times. And then he's sitting there, and it like instantly burst into flames. And I was standing next to Ian, and then I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name.
Julio?
Bilio? Yeah.
You should. He's a photographer, so give him a little press.
Yeah, well, Nemesis photo.
There you
That's
go.
easier to say that.
Yep.
So I give it to him, and then like, it was like, it just like the car went up so fast,
Mhm.
and I was like, crap. Like
What-
we're gonna have to go pull them out because we were like 50 yards from them, and then, it was like, they jumped out. So we're like, whew.
Yeah, one less thing to worry about.
Yeah, because I was just wearing a t-shirt and like nylon pants.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't
I was
be able
like,
to pull
that's
them out of
not-
the burning car.
I will melt.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
All that burning hair.
Yeah.
Smell real bad.
Yep.
So we're waiting down the end and like with no cell service. We have no idea what's going on. And we start hearing that there's a fire, and then someone else is like, the woods are on fire. We're like, what is
That's bad.
happening?
Did the woods catch on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ugh.
So they had to call in like the fire department.
So they extinguished. They put 4 fire extinguishers on it, but they couldn't get the hood open, so that really didn't do anything.
They're just spraying the outside of the car.
Yeah.
Point.
And eventually, one of the drivers, I forget his name, was just like, "Yeah, just stop spraying extinguishers. You just have to let it go. Like it's just gonna go.
Yep, there's no
There's nothing we
no
can do."
stopping this.
And it took 45 minutes for a fire engine to get there.
Of course, because it's in the middle of
Yep.
nowhere.
And then when they showed up, they luckily had foam retardant, so they could put it on the car.
Mhm.
It turns out the rear diff was magnesium that they didn't know,
Oh,
Right.
Jesus.
so it was just throwing sparks.
Aye.
That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. And then of course you spray water on magnesium, that doesn't
And
help
that, nope.
either.
Yep.
So the foam, you have to use the foam to smother it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
That's
that-
why they don't use magnesium on a lot of race cars anymore.
no.
Yeah.
But
That's surprising.
That was his. No, if it sounds a little weird, it's because the one different mic we have is a.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
heard a noise. Just seemed like it started in the headphones. so
No,
I was
it's
pointing to you.
it's omnidirectional mic that Stephanie has versus
Oh,
our
okay.
cardioid mics.
but yep, there it is.
So it just picks up a little bit extra ambient noise this episode. So
Okay,
that's okay though. We'll be fine.
Stephanie.
Who just burped?
That was it completely unintentional. I was drinking beer and I tried to let it go, and I was in the middle of saying Stephanie's
Stephanie.
name, and I apologize for the classless moments I've
So-
given you guys tonight.
Anyway, yep, the car burned to the ground. They immediately threw the red cross,
Yep.
and that stage was done.
Cancel the
For the
stage.
Which-
second year in a row.
For the second year in a row, the second part of the stage was done. But
It
this
was the second
time,
year in a row. What happened last year?
Last year
What
was
did Kevin
when,
Block do last year?
that was when Pastrana's
Pastrana.
co-driver hurt his back.
Oh yeah,
he
yeah,
and then
made
they-
it to the finish.
Yeah.
And then they took off and nobody knew where they went.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, because it would take them a long time to get
Yeah.
a ambulance.
And I'm
So-
kidding. I don't blame
Right.
everything on Ken Block. He's a good driver. Just a popular,
So then they-
proper thing to do.
They transited us back out, but that took an hour.
Oh, yeah.
and-
They couldn't figure out what to do.
We had to transit in the opposite direction.
So you guys, they took you out to 17.
Right.
Yep.
Which
Finally.
takes you all the way around
Mhm.
and down.
But we were like standing there and they're talking about it, and I'm just saying out loud, I'm like, just in the amount of time you guys are discussing it, just get them moving towards 17, and they'll be back in like a normal amount of time.
Yep.
So I don't think the whole parade of rally cars did not make it back until I think like 9:30 that night.
Yeah.
So that was the end. That was the last stage for the day, anyway, right?
It
Yep.
was, but
That's
we
when
would
the
have
fun
been back
began.
in. That's when we would have been back in like 8 o'clock.
Right.
So we were all super duper late getting back in. But it was really cool actually seeing it because we were like one of the last cars. And so you saw this parade of 50 other rally cars just driving.
That's cool.
And people were coming out on the streets and just like watching us all go by. So it was pretty cool like that had happened. But once we got back, because this is the first time we'd been back since pretty much the incident, like we could actually work on the car.
Right.
And that's when we were trying to get it back to pass tech because Don Taylor had come by and told us what we needed to fix to let us race the next
Basically, you
day.
needed lights, right?
Yeah, we needed lights and
Yeah.
the bumper had to be secured.
And then we had to weld the hatch back on because one
Okay.
of the hinges had snapped.
Okay.
So did you run individually both days,
Yes.
like as 2 different events?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why you,
regional. When you enter regional, there's a rally on Friday and a rally on Saturday.
that's why you could do service
all night
into
long.
the night instead of having to park the car and
If we
not
were
touch
in
it.
national, and then that's why McKenna had to withdraw because he had to work through the night on because his brakes failed.
Okay. That makes sense. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he DNF'd on Friday, but
And
came back
because-
under special rally rules, super rally rules, whatever that one is.
Whatever.
Super special.
Super special.
You know what it's called? It's called He's Good with the Spectators.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. So we're going to let
Sure.
him do it.
So we worked till
I mean,
2
you can't
a.m.
Really, you can't really complain about that.
We
Yeah.
worked till 2 a.m. getting the car.
Our
to pass.
row of the service park turned into Thunderdome that night because there's us using a porta power, which is like a big hydraulic ram
Mm-hmm.
to push the corner of the car back out.
Yeah.
and then some big sledgehammers,
Mhm.
and then we had somebody helping us weld the shitty hinge back together so the hatch would kind of stay in
It was the
place.
same person that welded the shifter, right?
No,
No.
he was busy, which I'll tell
We'll
you
get
about
to.
in a
Okay,
moment.
yeah.
He was welding the front of the car. Don't worry about it.
No, it was the guy who lent us the welder
Oh. Okay.
at the rally sprint,
What's his name?
Chris
Chris. Yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
But and then next to us was
Dave Burden and Anthony.
Dave Burden and the guy who welded our shifter
Yep.
at the last rally sprint. They were they lost compression in their motor, so he went to a junkyard during the day, pulled a new motor.
Oh, I didn't know this part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he brought it back to service.
I thought they
and-
had it with them.
No, they worked through the
No.
night to swap the new ABA into the Jetta and then put the turbo system on it.
So they did a complete engine swap.
Whoa.
So Anthony is the
Overnight.
driver, super nice, and his dad is Dave.
Also super nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
super nice. Dave always helps us out with everything. And Dave and I believe another one of his crew did not sleep. When we got there the next morning,
They were
they were
still
finishing
there.
it up.
Yeah, we showed up
Yeah.
at like 5:30 a.m. and they were still working.
They
on
hadn't slept.
So when that
Wow.
car rolled up to the start at stage 3, we were sitting there and it was like ticking away.
Yeah.
It was like tick, 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 tick. I was like, that doesn't sound great.
it. No.
Because of the junkyard motor.
No.
No,
No, the
Oh,
Before
before
they
it blew
motor
up.
was
Okay.
Yeah.
going. And which was really nice, come to find out, is while we went back out and raced 3 and 4, technically.
Where the heck did you get a junkyard motor?
So let me
Long
tell
story.
you. So when we went up back to race, we were like, all right, this is what you guys need to do. We need a trailer light because we need lights for the next day. When we got back, Dave, come to find out, in rural Maine, 30 minutes away is a man who hoards Volkswagens,
Awesome.
Ah.
Yeah.
who Dave had on speed dial, and called him up and he's like, I need an engine. Guy's like, I got 11.
All right.
Oh.
Already
Okay.
pulled. So he went and got it, and then when he was there, he got us an OEM light.
Taillight.
So he got us the exact same light.
See,
to
like
put
a
in.
Napa trailer light then.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we didn't have to use it. We actually had our own light. Like
Cool.
he picked it up first, so that was super nice.
Yep.
And this guy was like,
This guy in rural Maine probably loves this weekend
Oh,
because
yeah.
he sells
Yeah.
more parts in the rally weekend than the
So-
rest of the
No,
year.
it wasn't our last run-in with him.
yeah. And then I guess,
Oh, I didn't know
okay.
this part.
I guess he actually goes to like Errol.
Yeah.
And will bring things there if anything
Oh, really?
happens to the Volkswagens
That's
that are
awesome.
racing. So he'll deliver things to the Volkswagens who do these races.
That's awesome.
So super cool.
Yep.
And that's where Dave got it. So they wound up getting us an OEM light. So we hammered out the car, put in a new light. Chris welded the our hinge back together. We got the bumper. Spectator brought our bumper back for us.
Awesome.
So we zip tied our bumper back on. We had to cut the hatch because it wasn't closing anymore because we bent the other hinge.
Oh yeah, I had to grind like half an inch off of one side.
It made for cool pictures.
Oh yeah.
I also lost like half the hair on my leg
You have
I
plenty
was,
to spare, it's
I was
alright.
wearing my not OSHA approved gym shorts while
And
doing
then-
it.
I don't think OSHA has anything to do with backwoods repairs,
No.
so you're
And
all
then
right.
Mike Bellevue.
Yep.
He was like watching Jordan do this, and he was like, "You may want to go look at your seats because all the sparks were flying in, and we were like catching our seats on fire essentially."
Oops.
They're fine.
So we got it all done.
Live and
though.
learn.
We got it all done at like 2 a.m. Go home,
Sleep for 2 hours.
sleep for 2 hours, came back at 5:30 because we hadn't checked the car over for like tire pressure, anything. We
Yep.
just fixed what I potentially broke, and we came back super early the next morning because Don Taylor had to inspect it.
Mm-hmm.
So before we started park expose. So Jordan
Oh,
goes.
it needs to go through tech before it goes
But
to
you
expose?
couldn't find him.
No, it doesn't need to, unless you have an incident.
Okay.
Because he finds out about it, then he comes and checks it out, and he has to approve it before it runs the next technical rally, which is the New Hampshire rally.
Okay. That's
and
they
he-
call day 2.
Yeah, day 2.
Yeah, the New
Alright.
Hampshire Regional.
But he didn't damage the cage. That wasn't too big a deal.
No.
Yeah. It was just he was concerned about the lights, us not having
Yeah.
lights. Because
And the hatch falling off.
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
What if you had taken the hatch all the way off? Would you be able to run or
No.
not?
Nope.
Okay.
So that was my other thing when I was on stage one. I'm like, please don't fly off.
It also would have sucked so much more dust inside the car.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it,
It was
would've, but-
actually
A godsend.
after the back of the car had a giant hole from the missing taillight.
Whoops.
There was
Airflow
so
was
much
better.
more airflow. It was like, oh, this is lovely air conditioning.
I did it on purpose.
Put a louvered
Gotcha.
back window and no
Yeah.
glass.
Gotcha. I like it. The roof scoop coupled with the rear body panel scoop.
Speed hole.
Speed hole worked
So
out well.
then,
And so then
Park Expose.
Yeah, so on Saturday morning,
I know where the
because
alternator came from now.
we're not technically like in Parc Fermé, so I just drove to the gas station to get gas to fill up for the day.
because we hadn't started the next rally.
Okay.
And I came back, parked the car in our service spot, and then we had like 10 minutes to Parc Expose opening.
Mhm.
So I went to start the car, and it wouldn't start. So
And
I
he
was
had just driven it for like 40 minutes getting
Yeah.
gas.
So it wasn't charging anymore.
no.
Well,
So
we didn't know what it was doing.
Yeah,
right
we
away.
we pulled out the jumper pack, and it didn't work. And then we pulled out like full-blown jumper cables, and the car started.
Okay.
And threw the multimeter on the battery and realized it wasn't charging.
Okay.
So I just like
So Jordan
slammed
was
it
in
in
the
gear
car.
and sped over to Parc Expose because if you show up late, it's a $100 fine.
Jesus.
Monetary, not
Yeah.
time penalties. Monetary
Wow.
penalties.
So I ended up being like right behind the two
Higgins.
Subaru USA cars,
Higgins
Mhm.
and
and then
Pastrana.
pulled in and parked next to them. When there's like 100 fans just looking at them, and then there's our car,
Awesome.
and park it, the hood flies open because it died like as I rolled in.
Mhm.
Then we start cranking away on it, trying to figure out what was wrong.
So you're allowed to work on the car?
Yeah.
At this rally, you're allowed to work on it.
That's cool.
Yep. So somebody like essentially they're like not charging, so we're like we don't have an extra alternator. So I call this guy who
Magic guy.
magic guy, and
Yeah.
he called and told me I need an alternator like for the car, and he was like, I don't think I have one pulled like out of like a junk car.
Right.
He's like, when will you guys be here? I'm like, I'll send somebody right now, 30 minutes. He's like, all right. He went and pulled it out of a running car, like
Oh,
one of
that's
his
awesome.
running cars, because he knew it would.
Work.
Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
So he went and pulled it out of a running car for us, and we sent 2 of our crew to go get it. And we're only in Parc Expose for like 50 minutes.
Okay. And he's
So-
half hour away.
Yep.
And
so
then plus your
So who
hour
risked a
of
speeding
waiting.
ticket to go get it for you?
nobody.
All right.
Nobody risked a speeding ticket.
Yeah, no one speed.
No
Right.
speeding.
That's all right. Sorry.
Nope.
Rally rules. 35. Who drove 35 to go get it?
That would be the fine gentleman Joseph
Joe.
Osborne.
Osborne.
Excellent.
And Jamie went with him too.
Excellent.
So they went and got it, came
Chief,
back.
chief of sandwiches.
Oh
Yes.
man, such good sandwiches.
Who's chief
Team
of
chef.
sandwiches? Jamie or Joe?
Jamie.
Okay. Well, I don't know Joe's cooking, skills,
Prowess.
so who knows? I don't know Jamie's either. For all I know, she could be a expert pizza orderer and not a good cook.
That's true.
I don't know. But anyway.
So we get the alternator in, and all while this is going on, we have our whole crew there. We have the hood up, the alternator pulled. The car's just a disaster because we have the tools out, everything, right
Right.
next to Pastrana and Higgins.
Right next to like $250,000 rally cars.
Oh,
Yes.
God, yeah.
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 It
awesome.
was like the funniest juxtaposition ever.
Yeah, I saw the pictures because unfortunately I didn't make the event, which I think we'll get into in a later episode. But the pictures of you guys working on your car while like Travis and Higgins are signing autographs in the
autographs, yeah.
background is
Yep.
great.
And
Pretty awesome. But you're not supposed to park there, probably?
No,
Or it
you
doesn't
park
matter?
in
No, you
whatever
park
order
right
you
in
come
Whatever,
in.
Okay.
yeah.
they don't really, it's not like they keep them segregated.
Yeah.
No.
He just happened to be there when I pulled in.
Awesome.
Probably because he was late the day before, so he got fined.
He did
Okay.
get fined the day before he was late.
Oh, the $250,000 rally car guys had to pay $100?
Yep.
Wah.
Yeah.
We get the alternator back, we put it in, and we're like, yes, get it all going.
So how long did the whole change take?
Oh, I mean, it's quick. We changed the alternator.
I mean, from diagnosing the problem, calling for the part, getting it back in the car.
hour and 5 minutes,
And how long did you have to get it done?
Technically 2.
2 hours. But
So you had a little time to
we
spare.
put the alternator in, and then the alternator didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It still wasn't charging.
Whoopsie.
So
I didn't hear this part yet.
So then we're like, well, at that point, I'm sitting in the car. I look at Jordan. I'm like, well, we can start drinking beer early because the car didn't start, and we didn't have master electrician Andrew because he was off taking photos.
Yeah, I got
Of cars
some
that work.
Sweet photos.
Yeah.
I had to get out
Yeah, you were gone early.
super early. Yeah, to get out. We were way up north, but we'll get to that.
So we don't. I'd say between Jordan and I, we don't really have the whole electrical portion
No.
down. Luckily, from another team, there's a electrical engineer.
And another team's co-driver
It's like a Volkswagen.
is a Audi Volkswagen MasterTech.
Oh, excellent. So
Yeah.
that helps a lot.
Yeah.
I was just laughing because there was some guy that wandered over with just a wire that had a contact and a clippy bit on one end.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like,
for checking
here,
continuity and stuff.
like this may work.
Well, it's a jumper wire, so if you have a broken wire somewhere, you can run.
Well, you tried to jump the exciter wire.
That's
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
thought it
and
was.
it didn't do anything.
Okay.
They
which
thought it
is
was the
weird.
exciter wire, so they were going to jump it to the battery. That didn't really do anything. Then somebody was like, maybe the brushes. Maybe something's weird going on. So we pulled the brushes out of the alternator so we would take the alternator.
Yeah, we knew the alternator was a good alternator, though, did we not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. So we moved the brushes around. Then we fiddled with some more wires.
Yeah, they ended up pulling out that, I don't know what it's called.
Armature?
Yeah, armature.
It's got like 2 magnet thingies in
Yeah,
it on
armature.
springs.
Yep.
Yeah, they pulled that out, pulled the one from the dead alternator, and put it in the new one, and then the car started and charged. And nobody seems to really know why.
That's
Yeah.
bizarre.
I told my dad about it. He seems to think like maybe a brush hung up or something, or just got
Yeah.
dirt in there.
It's possible.
It was very dusty and dirty. So
So
we
don't
didn't hit it with a hammer, which is usually our first.
go to.
Yeah.
First line
That's
of
what I've
defense.
learned from all the Volkswagen guys. Just hit it.
Yeah. Fuel injection, alternator, starters.
Yep. Hit them
Yeah.
all.
Lifters.
somebody
Hatch.
did tell me that you could
Hatch. Yeah.
you could hit the alternator with a hammer to try to
Really?
make it work.
Especially if it had dirt in it.
Oh.
That would be because that would break
Tap
the
on it.
dirt up and
Huh.
move it. Yeah.
Good to know. So we're literally, I'm sitting in the car just like turning it over for them as they're checking the charge in the battery, and I'm just like, this sucks. It was like such a bummer, and you're like coming to like
Yeah.
realization like
We
had
may
like
not do this today.
6 minutes
Yeah.
and it was not charging.
Well, and prior to that, Dawn came to check the car,
Oh, God.
and you guys were fiddling with all the alternator and like all of that stuff, disconnected the battery, all these things. And I was just standing there. I think I was holding one of the dogs and just like taking random photos of you being parked next to Higgins. And then Dawn comes over to check the car, make sure the lights are working. And you guys go to the back of the car to like look at the lights with him. And then you're like, "Oh, that's weird. Why isn't it working?" And I was like, "You've disconnected the battery."
Yeah, so- and Don was like, well, I mean,
And
sort your
he, like,
electrical issue
walked
out
off.
first. And then you're like, plug it in. And we were like, Don, come back.
Awesome.
So he then said gave us a green light.
Yep.
And they do all this alternator jiggling wires. And like I turn it on. And they're like, it's charging. And I was like, no way.
Killer.
Literally 30 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Steph has a video of us. And I think, Jordan, you say, well, it's good to go. And like I jump out of the car.
Liz would make a terrible firefighter, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I got my foot stuck like 17 times.
You're falling down.
We got like a bunch of things into our toolbox, got our suits on, like the whole 9 yards, and we like pulled up to leave with 1 minute. 1 minute to leave.
Before penalties,
Yeah,
yeah.
before penalties. We would and then we hit the road, and it was like I think we were out at how
It
early?
was like an hour and a half transit.
It
It's a
was.
super long transit.
It was
You
the
have to
longest transit.
So
to go to Wilson Mills. So from there, you're going up 26 through Grafton Notch,
Yep.
Oh God.
all the way up
And
through past Errol.
like at the start of the weekend, our gauge pack stopped working bit by bit. So like we have an aftermarket one
Yeah.
with coolant, temp, oil
Battery.
pressure, and battery voltage.
Okay.
The coolant one just stopped working
Yep.
entirely,
Okay.
and then the oil pressure one was acting funny. It would like you turn the car on and it would crank past 100 psi, and then slowly work its way back to the normal setting. And once we replaced the alternator, the voltage one would like read at 10, and I was like, oh shit, it's not charging, but it just stayed at 10 all day.
So
that
the
was
gauge
like,
was screwed up, not the alternator. Then.
yeah, it was like
Yeah,
just
'cause-
giving me massive anxiety the entire day.
So
Yeah, no, I hear that.
we did. I think it was 4 stages before the first service, and we did not.
Rough stages.
We did not turn the car off. I wasn't risking it.
No.
That car ran forever.
Yeah, whatever.
It was starting to get pretty warm too, because we ended up having a small coolant leak. So it would, like we would pull up after a stage, and you just watch it creep on the OEM gauge,
Mhm.
which I don't know if it actually reads correctly or not, but it would just start climbing higher than normal. I was like, ooh.
But you can also, there was like a stage where like you can physically hear the car start. It was starting to have issues because we were overheating,
Right.
and we
So
just
the
needed
labor.
to get moving to give the airflow. But
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
makes you so nervous because I was afraid to turn the car off because I thought it wasn't going to start again.
And Volkswagens are stupid in that they don't have a radiator cap. There's just a cap on the reservoir,
Right.
so you can't just add shit to the overflow.
That's weird. There's no way to do it at all.
I don't
No, the
think
system's
so.
pressurized. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
terrible.
That's weird. I don't know why you guys made a big deal of this. This is like every day in an old Colt.
Yeah, but
Right.
in an old cult, you don't have like the time pressure of I have to be here at this exact time.
Work.
And,
Or do Azizka Hawes.
yeah, you don't. You're not driving 15 miles over baby heads.
That was
No.
Yeah, so it was Wilson Mills,
Eh.
which is not that long.
no 5
but,
miles.
But then there's another 5 mile transit along that road, and then you start Azizkahus, which is what, 10 or 15?
15.
Something like that. Yeah, it's
15.
one of the longer
Long.
ones.
It runs up over the lake, almost to the Canadian border. I guess years ago they used to do a loop that would bring you right to the Canadian border. That
Oh.
went up. Yeah. And
What's the baby heads all about?
Big rocks.
It's just a
big rock.
really.
yeah, softball
Rock,
size
rocks the size of
Checking.
baby's heads.
It was just
Yeah.
a really rough. That was I think the roughest stage we did.
Yep.
Happy to report that Montero didn't care. I cruised up there, AC on,
That was us
in comfort.
In,
The Xterra.
At Recce, we were using the Xterra. Just
That probably just rolled over everything, like
Yeah.
whatever.
it's great.
But you
Nice
could
and
hear
comfy.
like the Xterra working, and I'm like, we have to do this in the Gulf.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
It's
oh my god.
The Xterra suspension is just a little creaky from the off-roading.
Yeah.
So you hear like and some squeaks and grunts are in there, and then you do it in the Golf, and it's just like a
Bang, bang,
toolbox
bang,
rolling
bang.
down the road.
Yeah.
So we did. I think Azizka Hawes was
I think we decided before it was Ziska Haas.
No, it's somebody. Rob Sokolexis found out it's Aziz Goose.
don't
Aziz
care.
Goose,
Azizka
yeah.
Hawes.
Sounds like
Like
you
Indian.
would know.
as is good.
Yeah, it's Indian.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm fluent.
By Indian, do you mean Native American?
Yes, people. It's people.
People
of
of the First Nation
Yes.
is people of the First Nation
Yes.
language.
Yeah.
That was, I think, my funnest stage because I felt like that was actually like the most challenging because it really like felt like you were rallying. Like the
Yep.
other stages were kind of like big open roads with loose dirt.
Oh, how's that dirt pile before the bridge? There was like a on the notes they were like water crossing. So we got there in Recce and they were
Yes.
filling it in. They're like, yeah, there was 4 feet of water here, so we filled it in.
Oh,
And we're like, okay, because they were there with trucks and a dump truck and a bulldozer. And we're like,
Okay.
cool. And they were putting in a culvert and they piled dirt around it.
Yep.
So we're like, all right, jump, maybe.
okay.
And then
so
like
when,
kept going.
When we got there, that wasn't there.
No, it had
the
worn
notes
down.
said water, but we got there and it's like, there's no water here.
Nope.
But it was like fresh dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was super duper rutted. So when we hit it, our tires kept hitting. And you're just like listening to the car. You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
That was weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that section.
Yeah, we managed to bubble yet another tire.
I noticed in pictures that there were different wheels by the end of the weekend than
Yeah.
there
That
were
was
in the
annoying.
beginning.
Wait
Try out some of those Zestinos, maybe.
Something. We'll see.
Zesty tires.
Yeah, we
If
just
they come in the little baby size that we need.
15s,
14.
14s, they do.
tiny little baby
Saw somebody
tires.
post about them today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they're probably cheap.
We need new tires. 'cause
That's
we
funny.
keep-
They're a big name in drifting now too. They're trying to make their name
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah.
I think we have 4 bad tires. We've bubbled 2, cracked 1, and then we've cracked another. Like we have cracking.
Jesus.
They're also
in
like
the
30
tire.
years old.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rally on a budget.
Yep.
Brought to you by.
Iron Oxide Racing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have like 15 gravel tires, but they're all from like 03 or 05.
That's
So-
fine. They don't check date codes at Tech. You're
No.
fine.
I did
Everything's fine.
enjoy
It'll be
when
fine.
the bumper did come off that you had your little iron oxide molecule annotation
It was still there.
Yeah.
on the bumper.
Oh yeah,
Was in the
that's
red
like
body
right where the
panel.
little GTI badge was too, and
Yeah.
it was hanging on by a thread when we pulled over on
Yeah.
Concord Pond. So
GTI badge was.
I
Yeah.
tore it off and I gave it to Liz to
Yeah, I
keep.
have it.
Make a necklace out of it.
What size do you need? 175, 65, 14?
I don't know.
Yes.
There you go.
Something.
185, 65, 14 as well.
How much?
I don't think we have enough power to spin those bad Larrys.
Nah.
I don't know how much they are.
Oh, bummer. Well, at least we know we need tires. We do know we need tires.
Yeah.
But when we did the first pass of Azizka Hawes, I think we passed 3 broken cars.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yep.
Which was really concerning because you're like going along and you're like, you start seeing all these like signs up and you're like, you see the triangles coming up. Really like, it makes you nervous. You don't know how the car is going to be. Everybody was fine. Everybody we passed was fine.
What are the? Do you have to slow down to a certain?
Yep. So once you start seeing the triangles,
Just don't hit anybody.
you're supposed to slow down. You start slowing down. If you see the okay, you don't have to stop.
Right.
So you keep going. And Then,
Or sometimes you see a driver just holding up the route book that says New England Forest Rally 2018.
yeah, they forgot to put it to the okay.
No. Oops.
Oh,
So
guess this means they're okay.
they were both out of the car and just like standing around. So
Yeah, they were
we
fine.
figured it was fine. But yeah, they just held up like the front page of the rally book, and we're like, okay,
Good. Cool.
sweet, and we kept going. And then I forget what other stages were in there.
Sturtevant Long.
That was fun. That was fast.
Yeah, a lot of spectators at the end of that one, and it's just like left 3 into right 3 into left 3 into right 3.
Boulder Rock, and they all stand up high. And it's really cool because you're going and like we've done the rally sprints, but this is the first time we actually had like people that we could see.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and everybody was like, you know, when you'd come around a corner and they're all like there, which was pretty nifty. Went to service, went back out, and we literally did the exact same stages again, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
As
They
this,
loop around, yeah.
yeah, we did Aziscahas again, Sturtevant short,
And Wilson Mills.
and then when we did Aziscahas again, we saw another 3 cars off.
Yeah. A couple of them were deep in ditches.
Yep, one was completely off, one
And
was on
then
its
we
side.
came before the service. I think it was after Wilson Mills. We came up on one of the teams that was next to us in service, TJ and Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and they had blown their motor in their Outback wagon.
Such a bummer.
It was a bummer because TJ and Aaron are very fast.
Yeah.
Very.
And they, I guess, while we ran the rest of the stages, their crew came and got them, towed the car back, and then they did an engine swap in an hour and
1
got back
hour.
on stage.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Considering we've done an engine swap in a Subaru, and it took us 1 month.
Yes.
Were they running for fun then at that point?
Yeah.
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 And it was because by the time we finished and got back in line, they were there, and we were like, they'd fix their car. So
That is impressive.
That
Yeah,
was
I
really
remember-
It's a non-turbo car, obviously, right?
Cool.
When,
non-turbo.
Yeah, still.
When we came into service, I mentioned it to somebody in our crew, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw them come in and then drive out." And I was like, "No, you didn't, because they blew their motor."
yeah.
And then I later
No, I
found out that they
definitely
did
yeah.
like a hero motor swap.
Yep. So Dan Faquette always brings extra motors
For the Subaru guys.
for the Subaru guys, and
Yep.
they put it in, no issue, 1 hour.
It's amazing.
They
Yeah.
ran the stage and then blew a strut.
Well, hey.
Oh yeah, they destroyed it. It like started pushing through the tower and shit.
Oh, it didn't start. It went through the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good.
We came into the second service and they were parked there, all hella flush.
Yep.
I was like, that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's our car with the ratchet strap holding the hatch on. Their car's like bent to all heck. There was another car next to us had like trees in the front of it essentially, and then right across the way are Higgins and Pastrana like starting again, and it was like funny. Like Pastrana looks over and gives like the, "Hey, how's it going? Like have fun." And like
Yeah.
our cars are like destroyed.
Yeah.
It was
They
pretty
did
funny.
help somebody push
Yeah, they.
into time control though. I heard.
Yeah. I think I heard that too.
It's awesome.
And then the car, we finished all the rest of the stages, no issues.
Yep.
At that point, I mean, after I hit the pole, so after stage 1.
No more issues, we're saying. Day
Yeah.
2 went well.
No,
after.
I'd say after stage 1, I was way more conservatively driving. I was like, let's just finish my first rally. And I remember, like, we finished North Road, whatever that one was,
The last one, yep.
where Jordan was like, all right, I know we're tired. Let's finish this. And he's like, left 2, and I go right.
She pulls right towards like spectators and tape,
Oh
and
no.
I'm like, I left, and then she pulls back left and just creams this huge boulder.
Is this North Road?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like the first turn.
Yeah, and so like there was a huge gap because that was at the end of North Road, and it was like one more car, and I was like, I hope that's them.
Please.
I was like, please just let that be them.
And it was them.
Yeah, and then we came around this big corner with a shitload of spectators, and then there's Andrew
Hanging out in
on
the
the
road.
middle, like right on the edge of the apex, with a camera on his face in one hand, and his other arm like way up in the air, screaming.
Yep.
And we're like, oh,
That's
I
awesome.
know that guy.
That's awesome.
Well, basically, I like screamed as they came around the corner, and like everybody was kind of getting ready to like leave. They're
You're
all
like, "No."
packed up, and they're like, "What is wrong
You were
with
like,
this guy?"
no, get excited.
Yeah.
So, like, it
I
was
was like, "That's their first rally that they finished."
and so, like, I saw him come around the corner, and I think, like, one of the photos you got of giving him, like, the thumbs up.
Yeah, I saw that picture, yeah.
Because we were, like, going super
tired.
slow.
Yeah.
Because I was literally when I went
Asleep.
right
Yeah.
instead of left, I was like, whoa, we're just going to finish now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I've never done anything like that where you're so mentally focused for so long,
Yeah.
and the transits aren't even easy.
I mean, I beg to differ. You've hiked like 14 miles or whatever.
That's
or
true.
45. How many miles did you hike last
21.
week? 21 miles,
In
14
19
peaks.
Yeah, 14 hours.
Yeah.
Um,
So you've done it before.
That was what, like 2 weeks before?
Yeah.
yeah. We did the presidential traverse.
In one day, which normally takes people 2 or 3.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
It was horrible.
Moral of the story is
You like
Liz
endurance.
is an absolute maniac. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that transit into North Road is 8 or 10 miles.
Yeah,
of
exhausting.
Yeah.
Do they give
That
you
was-
all the information you need?
For transits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you get like the TSD style notes, but there's no missing mileages or anything.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
too-
there's no
that's
trickery.
just easy.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
It's
I think
easy-
Andrew and I would probably still not finish somehow.
No,
Yeah,
we
I
don't-
mean,
can't do
even-
TSDs.
Even with it, we made.
no,
a
we're
wrong
never
turn,
off
so.
course. Generally,
It's just
it's
about
the
being
time.
Never
like,
generally,
on
exactly.
time.
Every now and
No,
again.
no, we're usually on
Oh, boy.
course like a lot. It's just
We're
the
usually on course a lot. You're still not making a
It's
permanent
the-
statement here.
It's the speed and time.
it's the speed and
issue.
time that gets
Yeah.
us.
Because
Yeah.
he drives too fast.
Yeah,
Wolf.
Yeah, whatever.
Ask me how I know.
I drive too slow when I do them.
yeah,
I drive too fast.
yeah. See, we can't. Find
Jamie
it.
drives just right.
Apparently.
Yeah. I was told you might as well drive fast and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's why I just work TSDs now, because you can do the same route and you can
Speed.
allegedly go as fast as you want.
Oh, man.
35.
Yes.
So the cool thing is, so we finish North Road, and then we're like, we get out, we have to manually roll down our windows.
Oh
'cause-
yeah, that was the most annoying thing about the entire event was when we got the new cage. The window crank goes directly into one of the gussets on the new cage.
Oops.
So to open the windows, you have to open the door,
Open the door, install the crank.
pull the crank out
Yeah.
of my co-driver bag, install it, put a pin through it, roll it down, and then do the reverse.
Yep.
And then when
Okay.
you pull up to the line, you better hope you have time to do that all again.
That's awesome.
So we
Can we put power windows in it?
we're hoping
I actually found a power window kit on Amazon, so I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we should do
we're
it.
gonna, and then
It literally is like a crank that like is electrically driven.
Yeah.
That bolts right up to
And
it.
then just
Yeah.
have the button like somewhere that's easy to get
Yeah.
to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Next to
For
that,
you.
that convenient light toggle that made you feel
Yeah.
special.
yeah, that one. We get there, we do all that, and then like sweep, which is like I think like 5 cars at this point. I feel like there's 5 cars. in
There's a
sweep.
lot of
There was
sweep guys
a
now.
huge amount of sweep,
Yeah.
and
And then
they worked
big
They
hard.
did work today that weekend. Yeah.
So they pull up behind us, and I'm like, all right, guys, thanks for everything. They're like, no, we have to follow you all the way back to Sunday River now. Like they sweep the transit roads too.
Oh, really? I
So-
didn't know that part actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. I was like, thanks, guys, and they're like,
I guess
no.
that
Okay,
makes
we're not done yet.
sense.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. Like we're done. We're like we still had like a hour-long transit back to Sunday River, and it's us and then like 5 huge sweep vehicles with all their lights and stuff. So it was like a little presidential parade.
Yeah.
Little escort
Yeah, you have a police escort without me, please.
Yeah.
for the ratchet golf.
The
Tow
Ratchet Golf.
truck escort.
Yeah, the FJ80 that Niall Johnson has is
They
awesome.
were they were
Yeah, it
all
is.
nice cars.
Yeah.
Nice guys too. And we get back to Sunday River and they like pull you in where all the cars are parked after you're done.
Once again, we parked next to Subaru Rally Team
Yep.
USA
Awesome.
with our junk pile.
That I think I
Hey,
forgot to
whatever.
put. I forgot because I couldn't use the e-brake, but I forgot to put it in gear when we walked away from it.
Oops.
Oh yeah, we couldn't use the parking brake all weekend because it sticks on one side, so the caliper just slowly
have-
overheats.
I have no idea how we finished this event.
But you did.
Moxie.
Yeah,
all
I think
that
they
matters.
lost 17 cars. We
Sounds
started
about
with
right. That's
56.
about right.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost 7 in our class alone.
We started with 56 and they ended with 40.
Oh yeah, I think our sequence number at the end of the
40?
day was like 40 or 41.
I think there's been anywhere up to 50%
Wow,
they've
that's
lost
crazy.
in
Yeah,
years
it's
past.
usually a high attrition rate there because
Yeah.
of the size of the rocks.
Well, like at the beginning of Friday, one of the course open guy, Scott Beliveau, he came up to us because he knows us, and he was like, "All right, don't be a hero. Just finish your first rally." And then obviously we hit a telephone pole, which
because
he-
Liz is a hero all the time.
he gave us some bad looks because of that.
But when we pulled back into Sunday River, he was standing there with like a cowbell, like cheering us on as
Yeah.
we pulled
Yeah.
up. And that was really cool. Like everybody, like all of like the New England region, like every time we pulled up, because we were the last people to transit in,
Yep.
so you have to pass all the cars waiting. every time we pulled up, everybody was like essentially like cheering for us,
Yeah,
like high five.
the New England region SCCA is a really good group.
Yeah.
Super
So-
excited to see us.
Former
Awesome
guest
people.
Dan Downey actually podiumed.
Yes, you
Did
did.
he? Excellent.
Jesse did.
Yeah.
TJ did on day 1.
Yep.
The guy who did the engine swap, Anthony, he podiumed. He got second.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a lot of people did really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
Is that his first podium, Downey's?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Sorry, Dan.
I know when
No
we
faith.
we crewed for him at SDPR, he got like the rear wheel drive Big Balls Award, but I don't know if that's a podium.
No, that's like between them,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
between the rear-wheel drive guys.
No, sorry, Big Nuts.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
I think
Just
it's a
insert units here.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, the metric nuts.
Nice callback.
Sorry,
JIS
y'all.
standard nuts.
Yes.
Sorry, all.
Just nuts.
Oh, God.
Ah,
And that, folks,
too far.
is a
And we
podcast.
finished, yay.
Yes.
All right.
Well, congratulations, guys. It's amazing. It's been like
6
an
months.
amazing 6 months of like
I
you
can
guys put
finally
some
sleep.
really hard work in, like
I-
really hard work.
I can come home from work now and just not go back to work
You're like,
Right.
at a different job. It's great.
I'm gonna buy a car, and we're like, okay,
Yep.
all right, we'll see about that in July. I
Yeah.
said we'll help you. But
Yeah, and there they are. No, it's
We-
it's amazing. It's been a hell of a 6 months. From
Yeah,
the first
we-
story on January, like it was New Year's Eve. You guys were here telling us about buying.
Yeah,
a car,
honestly,
like-
we couldn't have done any of it without like you guys and our crew and
Yeah,
everybody
so,
that helped us along the way at the all the New England region crews.
And
Yeah.
all just the work that it needed.
yeah. So as we wrap up here, anybody that you want to thank?
Oh God. It's a lot.
everybody in the Facebook Messenger chat,
Yeah.
which has now gone silent after a couple of days.
Yeah, nobody's talking.
It was
People
like
are
a
on
400 message a day chat for a while, if not more.
And then now nobody wants to talk about anything. Because we had, so the people up with us at Sunday River were Joe Osborne, Andy, Andrew was there but media, but you were still there.
We have two Andrews.
Yeah,
Loser.
we have 2 Andrews. Jamie came up as chief chef. Steph made an
I
appearance.
thought Sandwich Queen was the title.
Sandwich
Was it Sandwich?
No,
Chief of sandwiches.
Yeah.
There you go.
Colin was there for moral support and booty shorts.
Yep.
Which, for people that might have seen pictures of us at Park Expose on Saturday, he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt and like super short cutoff jeans
Easy
Yes.
they're action pants.
while we were, next to David Higgins and
Higgins
Travis
and
Pastrana
Pastrana,
signing
yeah.
autographs. So at one point he was like, "Well, I feel like you guys should sign autographs." So Liz and I signed his inner thighs.
Right. Which is awesome.
Oh man, so that was, we were trying to make light of obviously the fact that we were like, well, the cars
In the
aren't
middle
running.
of
Yeah.
pulling an
I mean,
alternator.
Yeah.
official mechanic uniform might need to be Hawaiian shirts.
I think it should be
I was
on
actually
island
really
time.
upset that Colin didn't tell any of us that he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt because
Yeah.
I would have brought some.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
And then I added a Crown Royal shift boot.
Oh
I
my
forgot
god,
about
you
that,
did that
yeah.
the first night or first day.
Yeah, it's been
Because
planned, that's been like planned for like 5.5 months.
Because we joke about it in the when we look at Craigslist cars, play Craigslist car bingo.
Yeah,
Yep.
one of the Crown Royal shift was
So-
one of the things.
We left it in it the whole time, and then when we got back to the house, the house we were all staying at, after we finished the rally, everybody came outside, was like, cheering us on, and we wound up doing like shots of Crown Royal. That's kind of
Because
like
you bought a bottle of Crown Royal to get the bag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might as well enjoy it
May as
Yeah,
well.
of course.
as best you can.
And Canadian.
Yeah.
It all makes
Theme.
sense now.
That's all the theme.
Yeah.
I like it.
So on Instagram, where can they find you?
So our race team is Iron Oxide Racing.
Yes, we didn't have that last time.
Yeah, that's the newest one.
We have some stickers and stuff too if people want to
Find them
we
at
do.
events,
hit us up.
or they can send you.
I need a
An
couple more
address.
stickers for a couple more cars.
That's fine.
I have one.
Do they have
I need some more.
questions from the people?
I think we're gonna do that in a second
Oh,
because we don't want to run too long.
Yeah, no.
So I'll give you a bonus episode.
Bonus episode.
Bonus.
Questions.
Bonus round.
Yeah. So those of you waiting to hear answers to questions, I'll give you a bonus episode. You can follow us, Auto Off Topic Podcast, on Facebook, Auto Off Topic on Instagram. I am Race and Anger on Instagram. There's a bunch of rally photos up there. There's also Race and Anger on Facebook.
Yeah, saw that.
There's all the rally photos are up there.
Mm-hmm.
And Brad, as always, where can they find you?
At TSI SS 350.
That's right. And you've got some cool
Unfortunately, I
stuff.
wasn't there because I'm selling my house, and unfortunately, the open house coincided with the weekend of the rally, and I had too much work to do.
But if you're looking for a house in Georgetown,
yeah, exactly.
Well, I got a deal for you.
a cute little house on the lake,
Yeah, if you want waterfront property, 30 minutes north of Boston. I'm
Throw
your
a
man.
Colt in with it.
Yeah.
In a trailer.
For the right price.
Yeah.
For the right price.
You could have yourself a Colt to go with
For
it.
the right price, I'll give you all 4 Colts.
Ooh.
Whoa.
It has to be the right price.
But yeah, you
More
get
than you
some
can
cool
afford.
stuff,
Depends on
and
the
we'll throw that in
units.
the bonus episode.
Actually,
too.
I did, however, go to an event that was a much shorter time constraint, so I can talk about that later on a later episode. So,
Yep. So as always, keep cars analog and aim for the roses.
Or telephone
or
poles.
telephone
Or
poles.
telephone
Damn
poles.
it!